What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Episode 62 of our podcast, Sippin' Sports. Chris, how are we doing? We are winding down, they would say.
Winding down with what, David?
Winding down before our short little break after the NBA season is over.
Is that what we're doing?
We are winding down, yeah, because there's nothing we really want to talk about.
I don't think we've said that.
Now it's live. Episode 62. We still have a few more weeks. It's just in the period of winding down.
Yes, so like Dave mentioned, we're planning on taking a season break after the NBA playoffs.
And right before football starts.
So we'll be off from, we're going to do the week after the NBA finals. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to break until the beginning of August. Yep. Like into August, so that we get a couple weeks before the NFL season starts.
Yeah. So it's like what, 7-week break around?
About that.
Give or take.
Yeah.
And then we're coming back firing with
every week.
A favorite sport of ours, NFL.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yep. But 62, let's jump in. David, what's your top moment from the week?
Yeah, so last week, the Denver Nuggets swept the Lakers. We potentially almost had 2 sweeps in the NBA playoffs. But how many, Chris, since 1949?
Wait, can you start over?
How many teams since 1949?
Okay.
How many teams have been swept in the conference championship for the NBA, including this past one?
Well, there's only one in this past one, so.
Well, I'm just saying if you're gonna add that in, okay. This doesn't count. This does count, so it does include that.
Since what year?
1949-1950 NBA season. So it's been 72
years. Yep. 73 years, technically.
Yep.
How many series?
How many
times is that?
Championship series.
Yeah, so technically there's 2 every year.
Yep. So there's about 150.
50 total. 150 total. Probably.
Picture the math going on in your head right now. Okay, we're getting there.
I'm going to say 8.
Bang!
That was right?
That was right.
Wow.
8 times. This is the 8th time it's ever happened. We almost had the 9th. I don't think it's never happened for both series in the same year.
What a guess.
That is a great guess. I saw you. I thought I almost heard you mumbling 8, and I was like, just go with your gut. Just go with your gut. So yes, 8 teams. 8 teams. Championship series, clean sweeps. It's kind of crazy.
We almost had 2 this year.
That's what I'm saying. That's never happened.
Yeah.
And you look at the NHL. There's almost 2 sweeps here too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think that's good or bad for sports?
Bad.
Bad?
I have a hot take that's kind of related.
Okay. Do you want to do it now or when we talk about it?
Yeah, it's kind of related.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just me, but I was talking to Andrew about this. I feel like I've gotten less engaged as the playoffs have gone on.
Yeah. I think, yeah. And
do you agree, disagree for yourself, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would say I agree. I think it's hard because, I think the first series, like, the Timberwolves were in it, so, okay, I was a little bit engaged. But then, even once the Timberwolves got eliminated and all that, I just think the playoffs go on way too long.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. And we've talked about this in previous episodes, but, I just think it's one of those things, I just think they just go on forever. They just seem like they start in September, October, and they just go till the middle of June or first few weeks of June.
Yeah.
That's too long.
It is. You're not going to make them go back to back like that regular season or whatnot.
Yeah, right.
But there is a lot of games. Andrew had a good point. He was like, it's kind of like March Madness. The first weekend, everybody's so pumped and amped up. And then as the month goes on, obviously, it just kind of dies off a little bit because there's less excitement. There's less games and there's less just 2 to 3 games on the entire day.
Right. And I think the thing is, too, now when you get to these conference series and these finals, the conference finals, it's so there's only 1 game a night.
Yeah.
And so it's okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it's also it's exciting. It's on the TV, but it's also one of those things to me where I'm just I just not really attuned.
Right. Then he also said he's well, just imagine if the Timberwolves were playing, you'd be so locked in.
That's what I'm saying. 100%.
Absolutely.
And don't get me wrong. I think the teams yes, it was a cool story with the Lakers. Yes, it was a cool story the Nuggets swept them. But it's just in this Celtics series is kind of not going as planned for some people, but I just think it is crazy where it's like these teams, it's like, to me, I really don't care. I don't care. And I think somebody had a good point too. It's crazy they were talking about Jokic, or I can't even say his name. Jokic and the Nuggets. It's like when they win, nobody talks about them. They had 60 wins this year? They just swept the Lakers. They barely get TV time because everybody on ESPN and SportsCenter, all they want to talk about is like, oh, LeBron James said he might retire.
Yeah.
He might retire. Let's not talk about how he just got swept.
He did that on purpose.
Of course he did. Come on.
Yeah.
But I think that's the crazy thing is I think even when they win, it's like they're so under the radar that, and I think they're a great team. Obviously they made it that far. I just don't think they're as flashy.
No.
They just get the job done. Jamal Murray is sick. He's disgusting.
Yeah, they got a good team.
Yeah, so we'll see.
My moment, so taking us back to the PGA Championship, we had Michael Block swept the world by storm, the sports world, not just the golf world, but the sports world by storm last week. Shot a 1 over, which literally the first 3 rounds were even par, and then last round he was 1 over.
Yep. And I
finished tied 15th.
15th, decent paycheck. Obviously got to play with superstars and kind of made a name for himself.
Yeah.
I think the crazier story about him too is like you could tell like just watching it as much as you watched or whatnot. It's like you could just tell he was having so much fun, which made it even more enjoyable. And it was like, I think it's crazy to think because it's like even these superstar guys were excited for him, which is like, I mean, I know golf is one of those sports where you start to see that more, where like people are excited for each other. It's an individual sport, but it's a competition, whatever. But it's also like he was just happy to be like when he got paired up with Rory. There's a video and he's like, they're like, oh, you're gonna get with Rory. And he's like, no way, that's no way. And it's like then he hits the hole in one, which even makes it even better.
That's crazy. I mean, he was starting to fall back +2, and then literally straight in.
Yeah, and I think that's what's crazy is he dunked that. That was unbelievable. And then on the last hole, it's like he had like a 15-foot putt, and it was like it went in, and you could just tell it was like, wow, that was just meant to go in.
Well, that was a gigantic putt for him too, because that secured his spot next year. Yeah. And locked him in to tie for 15th. So then he made way more. It was like $70,000.
Yeah. I mean, and then obviously, yeah, he's a good guy. I think obviously it's like one of those cool stories where it's like it's golf. Just go out there and play well, and it's just kind of cool when he started doing well, and they were like, "What are you gonna do tonight?" He's like, go get a beer with my wife and eat food and do it again tomorrow. Like that's the life.
That is the life.
So,
we'll
see.
Pretty cool. This week's not as good for him, but that's besides the point.
Yeah,
it's a good 1 week story.
Well, and here's the thing: it's still a great story. I mean, and it'll get brought up for the years to come. I mean, every single year.
You think they'll make a movie on it?
No.
You don't think?
No. It's one tournament. If he would have gone out this week and done something, if he would have won. I mean, let's be honest. It's a great story, but he also finished, like, I'm not trying to harp the guy. He finished top 15.
If they made a movie, they'd probably make the guy win it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, he finished top 15. Like, it's a cool story. And, like, everyone knows about it, but to make a movie about it, it's like, dude, he's in last place in this tournament, currently. So it's like, I hate to be that guy.
Last?
Yes, plus 11. He's 4 shots.
No, I knew he was plus 11, but I just didn't know he was last.
He's double bogey 3 of the last 5
that
holes.
doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, to make a movie, though, about him is...
Yeah, we're talking about last week.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got Minnesota Minute-wise?
Yeah, Minnesota Minute, super short. Twins, currently 26 and 24, struggling. Only won 1 of 2 against the Giants.
First place, right?
First place, yes. Our division, I think the winner of our division will be 500, which is bad. They play the Blue Jays coming up as well as the Astros, 2 pretty solid teams. Minnesota Gopher Baseball finished up the season. They finished at 18 and 34. Gopher softball unfortunately lost to McNeese State. Did not advance to the
one and done.
No, so they lost. They won. They lost the first game to McNeese State. They won. So this is double elimination. Then they lost again to McNeese State, who actually almost beat. Yeah, who almost beat Washington twice, but they gave up 6 runs in the bottom of the last inning.
Really?
Yes. McNeese State should have advanced. Anyways.
Wow.
Minnesota wind chill. 2-0 so far. They beat Pittsburgh handily. They play in Detroit Saturday and in Chicago Sunday. They have a back-to-back this weekend.
Really?
On Labor Day weekend.
Detroit and then Chicago?
That's who they play.
You think they're flying up there?
I think they might fly up there and then bus to wherever.
Bus to the second place?
Yeah, bus to Chicago and then fly from Chicago. I don't think they'll drive. That's pretty. I mean,
From Detroit to Chicago, I guess I don't know how far that is. Four and a half hours.
Yeah, I think that's possible though. And then fly out of Chicago.
I don't know, dude.
You think they'll fly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wonder this too, and maybe people that know the wind chill better, like, do those guys make money?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So like, how did I mean? Maybe
You gotta. I mean, it's a.
you gotta think they have some endorsements or something.
It's a professional league.
I know, but is there money? I guess, yeah. They're good though. They're 2-0.
They gotta make something.
Let's hope so, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the guy that works out at the Southdale YMCA. I see you, buddy.
Well, why don't you ask him next time?
He hasn't been there because they've been playing. Once season started, I haven't seen him.
Okay. Now you know what to ask him in the off season.
Yeah, I do know
He's
he's.
grinding.
I actually have seen. I creepily searched him on LinkedIn because I was like, I wonder if they have another job. He's a customer success manager, so he does have another
There
job.
you go. All
But
right.
I want to know if he gets paid to
Supplemental
be on the
income.
win show. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of a revenue split it is, but
Well,
maybe if we bring home a championship, we'll have a parade. That'd be kind of cool.
that would be cool.
Just at Seafoam Stadium, though, not like around the town, just at the stadium. At Concordia.
We could make it around St. Paul.
We could create our own little bar crawl for them, like a bar crawl celebration.
Now you're thinking.
Yeah, potential.
All right.
Not much of a planner though.
Well, you better get on it right now because they're 2-0.
Long season.
Let's go. All right, betting recap for the week. 5, 6, and 1 for me on NBA.
There you go.
Just below. It's getting slightly better. David, 8, 4, and 1.
Pretty good.
Good job.
Pretty good.
Proud of you.
Yeah, pretty good.
We got a message from our loyal fan Jake, and was asking about cashing out a future bet.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked about it a little bit. It was John Rahm to win
The Masters.
the mat.
Was it the Masters?
No, it was
No.
the last.
Yeah, but what was the last one called? I don't know what it's called.
It was not the PGA Championship, not the Masters. It was the other one, the one in between.
Yeah, it was
The
Masters.
Players.
The Masters.
Was it the Masters?
Yeah, he won the Masters.
Oh, all right. Yeah, he won the Masters. And then, that was the first leg. Second leg, Nuggets to win the championship. This was before they swept the Lakers and were in it. $25 bet to win just under $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty nice little payday. The Nuggets are now in the finals.
Right. Well, and I think that's my thing is like, so I do wonder. I know we first talked about this, and this was when the Heat were up 3-0.
It was. Yep.
But I think we
It's
talked
now
about
3-1.
Yeah, it's 3-1, and I do think if the Heat win,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of just ride it out and just say, hey.
Do you think you ride it out?
I think I ride it out if the Heat win. I would love to see what the money amount is, but I think at the same time, if the Heat win this series, I think then Denver has a very good chance to win game 1 and 2, and then if you're worried, cash out. I think the Celtics, if the Celtics win, it will be, the cash out will almost be, what is the total? What is it, 2,000s the total?
Yeah, like
Around
just
2,000.
under.
I would say it's probably right around
It's like
$1,000.
$1,900.
I would say you'd get 50% for the Celtics because it truly is then a toss-up. I think more.
Do you think?
I think right now the Nuggets are the favorite. I think it's like minus 160, but I think if the Celtics win, that is more of a toss-up than if the Heat win.
So if it's minus 160 currently, that's just because they
Don't have an
assume
opponent.
that they're going to play the Heat.
Right.
So if the Celtics come back and win, wasn't the Celtics
Their odds were better.
than the Nuggets?
Correct. Yeah.
Like coming
You're
into
talking about when
coming into this series.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in that case, you would almost. Well,
Yeah, I still think before the game 1, I still think it's going to be a toss-up because I think here's the thing: is you have the first 2 games are going to be in Denver no matter what. That's a tough place to play for all these teams. And if the Celtics have to go all 7 games to win the
Right.
series, they're going to be tired.
yeah,
I mean, that's the difference. Is it's not like it's 3-1 Celtics. If it's 3-1 Celtics, sure, it's a different story.
right.
But I think the fatigue is going to get to them, and then you go play in Denver.
So you would cash out or you'd hedge?
No, I would actually keep it the first 2 games, let the thing go up, to like Thor. I would not cash out unless it was
What
like
if the
1,400.
Celtics go up
Oh, then you just
1-1
screw it.
or 2-0?
Yeah, then you just ride it out. It was what, a $25 bet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it all depends. I mean, I think here's the thing.
But the cash out going in, I mean, it's got to be around 800 to 1,000 right now.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a little less than 1,000. Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably around more closer to 800. I would assume. I mean, you can let us know what you think, what it is if you're driving down to Iowa. JCat. I don't know if he's gone down there to get the cash out, but I think if the Heat play him, you just ride it out because I think they will win the championship.
But this is my argument against that.
Mm-hmm.
If the Heat win against the Celtics,
Yep.
and it's Heat Nuggets, you could argue that hedging would make the most sense because the odds are going to be heavily towards Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, comparative to if they were playing the Celtics.
Right.
So it would be heavily towards the Nuggets. So you wouldn't have to put as much money on the Heat.
So here's my question.
To hedge.
So if the Heat, let's say, win this and they're going to be, what would you say? So the Nuggets are minus 165 and the Heat
currently.
Okay, so let's say they're minus whatever. But so what do you think the Heat's odds would be to win?
Plus 200.
So plus 200. So you'd say hedge and just put what, $1,000? Because that would equal your 2,000 winnings, right? So you'd have to put $1,000 to basically break even. Then you would be guaranteed the 2,000.
You'd either, well, no, I probably wouldn't put that much on it.
Okay, so you would hedge to a sense that wasn't break even, but maybe you'd hedge $500 to win 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's if they're plus 200. I don't know what. Maybe they'll be more.
So if they're plus 200, if you put $500 on the Heat, then you would win 1,000. So the payback would be 1,500. So in theory, then I mean, if the Nuggets win, you win dang near 2,000, and if the Heat win, you win 1,000. So regardless.
So I guess the other question then would
be.
Well,
no, it would be 2,000 minus the 500, so it'd be 1,500 or 1,000.
Yeah.
Versus 2,000 or nothing.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, well, then if you're him, I guess whichever team wins between these teams, why wouldn't you just hedge either way? Just wait till you get the finals and then hedge. Because here's the thing: even if you hedge the Celtics, then just put $1,000. And you could get you're guaranteed $1,000.
The value just isn't as much because that's going to be a closer odds.
Right, 100%. Yeah,
you know.
And I mean, I think here's the thing: is I think hedging would be the fair play. I just think one of those things where it's like for me, I think if they play Miami, and Miami's shown different and they've shown strong and to start series out strong, but I think Denver's a different beast.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you want to win more. Mm-hmm. If Denver wins, then whatever you would win by hedging.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's one of those things too where it's like, yeah. I guess it's just a confidence thing, or do you wait from game one after game one or game two in Denver?
Yeah.
Which no one's won, and then you basically hedge after that.
If you think that Denver's going to win it. Win the game one or two.
Yeah.
Then
it's $25 bet. It's whatever you want to guarantee. Obviously had a great pick with Denver was a great steal. Mm-hmm. But I think it's almost like, I mean, depending on the hedge and depending on what the cash out is, if the cash out ever got to 1,300 or 1,400, I'm taking that. If I'm in.
Really?
Yes, I'm fine taking 1,300, 1,400.
Over hedging?
Yeah, I don't really understand how the hedging works. You just get $1,400 either way. I would cash out at 1,400. You just said if I hedged and they were plus 200, my payout would be 1,000.
If the Heat won, but if you put 500 on the Heat, if they were plus 200, then you would win 1,500 versus the cash out of 1,300.
Or you win 1,000 because you bet 500, so you win 1,000.
And you would get 1,500 back, the 500 plus the 1,000.
Yeah, I guess you could do it that way. Yeah, so you win 1,000 versus winning 1,300. You win more. Because here's the thing: if you put in $500, you don't win 500. You win 1,000.
Right.
You don't. That's your money back. But what I'm saying is, if you cash out at 1,300, it's 1,300 minus the original bet of $25. You're taking home $1,275 versus 1,000.
Yes, but the original bet was $25 to win 2,000. So if you if you put 500 on the Heat,
Yeah.
and the Nuggets win, you still have the $25 bet to win 2,000. So
Right.
you have 2,000
Yeah.
if the Nuggets win, but if you hedge 500 on the Heat, then you have to subtract that from the total amount that you're going to win if the Nuggets win. So that would bring it down to 1,500, which is still more than 13 or 1,400, whatever the cash out is.
Yeah.
You know. So then the benefit of the hedge would be you put 500 on the Heat. So if the Heat win, then you win the $1,000.
Right.
And you subtract the 25 that your Nuggets bet was for.
Yeah.
Right? So you win 1,000 minus 25 versus 2,000 minus 500. So it'd be 1,500 or like 975.
Yeah.
So those are the two options. If
Or
the Nuggets
cash out
win,
at
it's
1,300.
1,500.
Or cash out at 1,300.
Right.
Yeah, so you got to take all the numbers into consideration. It just depends if you really want to watch the series or if you want to sweat or you just want to. I mean, because you could do
That's
the hedging.
personal preference.
Yeah, 100%. I'm cashing out, I said. I don't think that's not a big difference to me. I'm taking on 1,300.
$200.
Yeah, $200 for sweat. I mean, I haven't watched very many games of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I said this at the beginning. If the Heat win, I am letting. If that's me, I'm just letting it ride. It is in God's hands, but the Nuggets have looked dominant.
Yeah.
At home, and I'm sorry, I'm letting it ride. If the Heat win, if the Celtics win, we can revisit next week.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, after that, hopefully that gave you some insight.
Moral of the story is go with your heart.
Do what you want.
Yeah. Moral of the story is that didn't help, but we'll have better after we see this
But
series.
it provides an interesting scenario.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to beer and seltzer.
Yeah. All right. So we got. It's called Loyal.
Okay.
It's mixed berry lemonade.
I've literally never heard of this.
I think I had one of these in California.
Okay.
9%. Contains 22% juice.
9%?
Yeah, that's what that says.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
thing
God we didn't have this with the Churro Grande.
Oh, we would have been
Well, we also took 2 sips of the Churro Grande. So.
That's true.
It's called mixed berry lemonade.
Good thing you don't work tomorrow.
Yeah, shout out. Nice color too. Shout out Worldwide Express.
That is a nice color. It looks like a peach lemonade, if I had to.
Oh my God, you can smell the booze. It smells like a mixed drink.
It smells like a Jello shot.
Yeah,
honestly.
it smells heavy.
Beer that we're going with is Kentucky Tangerine Cream Ale in a bottle. It's from. Where is it from? The Beer of Bourbon Country. I don't know if it says where it's from. It's from Kentucky, but it doesn't say
Kentucky
the brewery.
Tangerine.
It's from Lexington Brewing Company. Literally the only place that it says that is on the cap, which you're gonna take off.
Yeah, right here.
Otherwise, it doesn't say it anywhere on the bottle. But it's cream ale with natural flavors, aged in oak bourbon barrels. The Kentucky reference.
5% alcohol, 5.5. Look at this. This is the picture it has. It's pretty cool. Tells you what's in it.
That's what vanilla looks like?
It kind of looks like a steak. Oh, it's got a blueberry one too. Vanilla maple barrel stout.
It's a nice golden color.
You ever been to Kentucky?
No, I haven't. My sister has. She's gone to the Derby.
The Derby?
Yeah.
Kinda cool. It just looks like it. I will say it's a little. Seems like it's a little over the top, but I think it would be cool to.
Well, we're doing a Derby party at your house next year, so
Yeah.
get
No,
ready
that's
for
yeah, but that's gonna. I'm hoping, and I don't know yet. I'm hoping though that's not in comparative to the actual Kentucky Derby. I think the Kentucky Derby is a little more extreme than what will be thrown.
You think?
I guess we'll wait and see. Guess we'll see.
I have high hopes.
I guess we'll see how many people bring the fancy hats and
Oh, I'll be wearing a hat.
and start spanking themselves to make their horse go faster.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, shout out. Well, not a shout out. It's actually very sad. The Kentucky Derby winner horse passed away. Died.
Already?
Yeah. That's what I read.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Okay.
All right,
Loyal. 9%.
It smells like lemonade.
Ooh. Yeah, but it definitely has a hint of lemonade in there. You can taste the. I'm trying to see. They probably don't even put the sugar on here, huh? It tastes like a headache.
It tastes kind of like a slightly softer lemonade Four Loko, if I remember how those tasted.
Man, I haven't had Four Loko in a minute. I think the last time I've even seen someone drink a Four Loko was Vegas. Brennan and Lish.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
For some.
I mean, I had a great time.
Yeah, I had a good time. We lost a lot of money on the last day, unfortunately.
Lost a lot of money.
A lot of $20 bills were just
roulette was not good. The story goes, we were walking around trying to,
Well, the backstory is our flight got delayed, so
our flight was originally at like 5 p.m.
I thought it was even earlier. I thought it was like 2 or 3, and then it got delayed to 5.
Okay, maybe you're right. Like 2 or 3, yeah.
Because we were going to get out of there at a decent... We were going to go to breakfast, watch the Vikes game, and then we were going to leave.
Yeah, and then it got delayed until like 6:30, and then it got delayed further until like 11 p.m.
Yeah, we went to... we went there, and then we got like vouchers, and we went to Chili's.
Yeah, we did.
And our friend Chris didn't make Chili's. We were going to leave it at that.
But I wanted to end the trip on a winning bet, so we were going to different casinos.
We just walked the strip.
Yeah, we were walking around. We literally walked in every single casino, and I wanted to end on a win. So we would walk in. I'd put $20 down on a roulette table, and said I would like the 20 on black.
Don't even give me a chip. I just want.
Yeah, just put whatever you need to signify $20 on black, and literally lost probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 in a row.
Yeah.
And then I was down to my last $20 bill, and it finally hit.
Yeah.
And of course, the reason why I was picking black was because number 4 is black. And the last one, my last 20, I should have known. It was black 4.
Think of how much, what is it, 30 to...
36.
$600. No, $720.
Yeah.
That would have been a decent way to end.
It would have been great. I mean, I would have made way more than I put down.
Yeah.
But
it's a fun time, though.
Yeah.
Vegas is definitely extreme.
It's a good 2 to 3 day trip place.
Yeah, I would say.
All right, so back to the seltzer here from Loyal.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of lemonade taste. I think there's a little hint of, let's say, like a strawberry lemonade.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it has that flavor. I think it tastes.
You can taste the alcohol though.
Yeah, I think the alcohol actually is almost like more overpowering than any seltzer we've had. Like it's like the first few sips are literally like alcohol.
I would agree with that.
It's like it truly is, and I'll say this: it truly tastes to me like a vodka lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's that potent and that extreme where it's like this tastes like a vodka lemonade. Not as like strong as like some vodka lemonades that are made, but you can definitely taste the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's okay. It comes in a pack of 4. It's not a variety pack, so it's literally just this is only flavor. They do have like tangerine something flavor and some other flavors, but it's not like a 4-pack.
Mm-hmm. So what are you gonna give it?
So I'm gonna give it. I think I'm gonna give it a 6.2. I think it's solid. I don't think it's hard to drink. I think I'll say this: my max would be 2 or 3, just because it tastes like there's a lot of sugar.
Yeah,
I would have a headache. I think this is simple. This is, I think, comparative to those truly.
Simply
lemonades. Yep, simply lemonades. The strawberry one, and I do think it's good. I just think, like I said, I do think the vodka or whatever, the alcohol, overtakes some of the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm gonna give it a 7.6.
Probably one of your highest.
It is probably one of my highest, and also I think the one thing that's bringing it down is I can feel the potential to get a little gut rot.
Yep.
However, I think that the lemonade taste and flavor is definitely like coming through.
Yeah.
And so I don't mind a little bit of extra like alcohol taste.
Right.
Coming with that.
I think it's definitely one of those where it's like the flavor, like you said, the lemonade flavor and the alcohol flavor, yes, is pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the lemonade flavor is good enough to kind of like not even make you think about it. Like it's still there. But I think also at the same time, yes, I think the only reason it wouldn't be like super high I think it's one of the better ones, but I think it's not super high is because, like you said, it's just that sugary vibe where it's like, okay, I might want one or two, but I cannot drink these.
But it does give you a vodka lemonade feel.
Vibe, 100%.
/ Four Loko. Just saying.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I don't remember when I had.
We might have to we might have to bring a Four Loko out here.
Yeah, probably just do a special review when we're actually drinking. I don't know if I want to drink one of those.
Right.
Those are also the Four Locos. The cans are just massive.
They are.
So it's like
they are,
but decent.
Yeah, I like
loyal,
it.
decent. Right. Maybe get a variety pack if I have any suggestions. I don't like when
they don't have any.
No, it's all just 4-packs.
Okay, so what are the flavors? Do you remember?
I said one's like a tangerine something, and then one's like a regular just lemonade.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't do tangerine because that'd be too much tangerine for the day.
Yeah. No.
All right, so we got tangerine cream ale. Honestly.
You know what this reminds me of? Didn't we have one? Didn't we have? What was the one that was really good? It was like a orange creamsicle.
Gosh.
Do you remember that?
It smells so creamy.
Yeah, but do you remember that orange one that was like an orange creamsicle and it was like the popsicles?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones.
Wow, it smells so creamy. It smells like a cream soda.
Like an orange cream soda.
Oh, really? Is that the tangerine? Okay.
The aftertaste has a little orange.
Yep. And a little vanilla.
Mm-hmm. I think it's decent.
It's creamy.
It's creamy. I can't believe that only has 5% alcohol.
You would think more?
Yeah, I feel like an ale would have more, but
what? Like how high are we talking?
7. I think 7's a good number. Like what's a Golden Light 4?
Like 4.5.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think this is like a good, in my sense, like a good brewery beer where it's like you could sip on it. Like I'm not gonna chug it, but I think it's a good brewery beer where it's like okay, it has good flavors. The aftertaste is fine. It's smooth.
It's like an orange cream soda.
Yeah, it's similar. Here's a question. Food for thought. Do you think if you poured one of these, topped it off with a little orange cream soda, too much? Too much or not enough?
No, a little orange cream soda slushy.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
daddy.
Whoa.
That would be legit.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen people that put like they like top their beer off with like lemonade, and like people top their beers off all the time. Oh yeah, people do that stuff all the time.
I've never seen that. Well, the new thing is those. What are they called? They're from Ninja.
From Ninja?
Yeah, the brand. It like the new big thing is where
like a Ninja blender.
Yeah, but it's not a blender. It's a. It's like a. I might have to look it up, but it like makes like slushy kind of stuff. Like
alcohol too? Like a slushy alcohol?
Well, you would put it into the container and then you mix it up.
Okay.
Yeah, Ninja Creamy.
So is it just a Ninja blender, but
it makes ice cream?
Oh, so it literally makes a slushy.
Yes. It makes
ice cream maker.
It's literally an ice cream maker.
That's kind of cool.
And it makes like gelato.
I've seen people make or do that with like.
So can you imagine if you fucking poured orange cream soda in there
with this,
and then mixed it up in this ice cream maker, topped it off?
Oh, so like what is it,
bruh?
Wait, what's the one?
That would
State
be
Fair,
insane.
like the slushy they put on top. Yeah,
that would be insane.
Maybe how much are they?
$200.
Oh, that's nothing. Okay, maybe food for thought.
I think 200. This one's not for sale. Why is it on Amazon? Yeah, $200.
$200, and it only makes ice cream. That's wild, actually.
I see all the girls on TikTok.
Oh, making protein ice cream.
No, they make margaritas.
Or margaritas. That's probably a dual purpose. Maybe they call it ice cream, but they're like sorbet, smoothie bowls, and more.
Yeah, everybody's focused on the and more.
Yeah. I think that's kind of cool, though.
I mean, that would be a friggin' lethal combination.
So do you think that's like the next big thing? Like making slushy beers like Your own?
No.
Like making your own slushy beers?
No, because I think that's too much work for what people want to put in to enjoy a beer.
Yeah, but pause. Like what I'm saying is that, like if we have this, what is it? One, like we could buy 4 of these.
Mm-hmm.
You make one full thing of that slushy, that tops off every beer. You're not putting a whole slushy in there. You know, you're just topping it off.
Yeah, right.
So I think it could be done. Maybe I'll put it on our registry. Ice cream maker.
Not a bad move. Plus Ninja's good brand.
Oh, Ninja. We have a smoothie maker, but I don't know.
A blender.
Smoothie blender, yeah. Ninja's the way to do it. Dude. Ninja's top notch.
I have that same one.
Mm-hmm.
So I
got it to work.
What's the score?
I think the score is a 6-3.
Oh wow.
I think it's pretty good. Like I said,
that's a little bit low.
For me, that's definitely having 2 of them. Mine is like a 5.
No, I was expecting higher from you.
No, I think it's really good. I think it's just one of those things like I could use, to me, if I'm being picky now.
Okay.
I would like a little more orange. I think the orange more for me just comes on the back end.
If that means less cream.
Yeah, I would rather have orange than cream, but that's me. But like I said, I think it is solid. I think it's good. Like I said, it's a great beer if you're at a brewery to literally just sip on, play games, hang out. Like it's one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. I'm giving it a 7.4.
Is that 2? Did you get 2 7.4s?
No, 7.6 for the first one.
7.6.
7.4 for this one. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Plus all the options to improve it with the slushy. Oh, got my mind thinking.
That was just made up.
I know, but it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody has gotten one of these creamy things and wants to...
Wait. Has gotten one of these slushy things.
Yeah, the creamy milkshake thing.
Yeah.
It's called Ninja Creamy.
Oh. Yeah, if anyone has the cream...
Look at that.
Ice cream makers.
Creamy.
Yeah. Why is it lowercase?
It's not going to be cream-eye. It's creamy.
Oh, well. Tomato.
So, if anybody's gotten one of these creamies and wants to try the topper for this beer...
Yeah, let us know.
Could be decent. Just saying.
Could be decent. The beer is good on its own by itself.
Yeah, 100%. But, I mean, if we want to take this from a 7.4 to a 8.6...
That might be hot, yeah.
I mean...
It's pretty high.
Watch out.
Might have to.
All right, recap. Seltzer, Loyal, Mixed Berry Lemonade.
Yep.
7.6 for me, 6.2 for Dave. And then the Lexington Brewing Company, Kentucky Tangerine Cream Ale. 7.4 for me, 6.3 for Dave.
Solid scores. We're kind of back.
High end.
We're kind of back.
It's a high end day for the beer and seltzer. And that's what we're going to call a review here, folks.
Yes, that's what we call a review. Bang, bang.
All right, we're talking NBA playoffs. We've talked your ear off for the beginning part of it, but NBA playoffs, like we mentioned, Nuggets are in finals.
Nuggets are in. Celtics are dominating Game 5. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think everyone. I don't know how to say everyone, but I think a good matchup would be Denver versus Boston.
That would engage more people.
I think that would engage more people, but I also think at the same time, like, Miami is kind of a cool story, though. Like, dude, beating the number 1 overall team, then beating Boston, and the Knicks, yeah, sure. But, like, the number 1 overall team, Bucks, no one gave them a chance. We've talked about that. Now beating Boston 3-0. But I think the hardest part is game 4. Boston kind of came out and flexed their muscles a little bit and said, okay, we're not getting swept, period. And now even in Game 5, I think we talked about this pre-show, but like, you knew they weren't going to lose this game.
At home, no.
At home, you said it, you were like, they're basically playing to get back to Miami.
It's all going to come down to Game 6.
Right, and so, and I do think, I think it's one of those things where it's like, I think if this game stays out of hand, I very much see Miami resting their guys.
You think?
Yes.
At what point?
I think 5 or 6 minutes. I don't even want to say that. Like, it depends the lead, but if they're up by 20 with like 7 minutes left,
15 points.
15 points in the fourth quarter.
At what point?
5 minutes left. Done.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say this though.
I don't know. 15 points in the NBA.
And the Boston Celtics choke, so I think that's a little far. But I do think there's something to be said where it's like, they're playing for Game 6.
Yes.
And if it goes Game 7, I'm sorry, I think Boston takes it.
As soon as Boston won Game 4,
yeah,
I knew that it was gonna be Game 6.
Yeah.
There's a very small chance that Miami came into Boston and won Game 5.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, that just is what it is. They've been 8 to 9 point underdogs every single game in Boston. Granted, they won the first 2, but I think it's a different story now as it's starting to get later in the series.
Right, and I did see. I think it was interesting. I saw. I think it was an interview with Spoelstra, the Heat coach, and he was like, "To be honest, we're happy to be up." I think it was before Game 4. Like, we're glad to be up 3-0, but like we could be very well down 2-0, 3-0, 2-1. Like Boston choked away 2 of the 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
The first 3, I should say, like when they were 3-0.
Yep.
And so it's crazy to think, and it's like, that also makes me wonder though, like, do you just go all out here still, even if you're down 15? Do you just keep going? Like, Boston has shown to not be good closing games.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think once it gets to like 2 or 3 minutes, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But there's a fine line where it's just like, dude.
I mean, it'll be a feel thing for sure. But it'll come down to Game 6. I mean, Miami has to win that game, obviously. But if it goes Game 7, I don't feel confident that Miami's going to be able to win in Boston.
No, and a Game 7, I think it's just, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what do you think? So, we said, so obviously Denver's in, obviously. Do you think Denver will win the whole thing, no matter who they play?
Yeah.
Is this Denver's year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. What are they? You said they're minus 160.
They were minus 160, I think. I don't know at what point during this series, but the last I saw, they were minus 160.
I mean, in theory, if you're trying to make a bet on Denver, you would almost want Boston to keep winning.
Yeah, tire them out.
In theory, Denver's odds as Boston got closer to winning the series maybe would sink down just a little bit to get a little bit more value on that.
Yeah. I think it's hard because, I just think it's interesting with that. Yeah, I think Denver should be the favorites. I think Boston, like I said, I think that would be a fun matchup to watch because Denver has kind of walked through everyone they play.
But the thing is,
reality,
they haven't played crappy teams. You know, they played the Wolves, who have given them the best shot out of anybody.
Yeah, who was their second round?
The Suns. And
yeah,
then
I think
they
the
played
Suns.
the Lakers.
Yeah, I think you could argue the
So-
Timberwolves and the Suns were probably pretty close and similar.
Right.
But I think people expected a lot more out of the Suns. I just think it was one of those things where I think, the Timberwolves, what was the series, 4-1?
Yeah.
And then this one
But
was 4-0.
4-1 without our third or fourth best player,
Yeah.
best defensive player, and still trying to figure it out.
Right, and I think that's always, and it's like I said, you start to notice it now, and like you're seeing it. It's like, I don't know what it is about Denver. Obviously, altitude's different, whatever you want to say. But like, you watch the Lakers in the first 2 games; they looked exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, they only played a handful of guys for basically the whole game. But like, you watched them, and they were like exhausted after game 1.
You could tell they didn't trust their depth.
No, not at all. And I mean, let's be honest. I don't think I would.
Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily trust
their
either.
depth didn't give them any reason to trust them.
Right.
But they were their hand was forced to not play their depth, which ended up hurting them as the series went on. Game 3, Game 4. I mean, their main guys were definitely tired.
Yeah, and I think that will be interesting too. The first few games of the series, whoever does play Denver, I think it will be interesting because it's like Denver hasn't been tested yet. Like we just said, I don't think they've lost a game at home, and I don't even know if the games have been particularly close at home. Mm-hmm. So it's like whatever team has to go to Denver, I will be very interesting to see how that plays out. Obviously, Boston has more star power. Obviously, Jimmy Butler's great. Bam Adebayo's great. But it's like Boston also has that depth. I think a little bit more. Obviously, if Tyler Herro comes back, that's great. Gabe Vincent gets healthy. But I think that's the difference with Denver is like they've played 3 teams that literally don't have any depth. The Suns, no. Timberwolves, no, with injuries.
Right.
Lakers, no.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they haven't even had to show anything else. I mean, they've just manhandled every team.
Right.
So
and the Nuggets, they do have depth.
Yeah, they have a great team, and I think it's the one thing I will say this. I get so annoyed watching the Nuggets. I get Jokic is great. I get that. That man, if you show his attributes, his stability is zero. He falls over more than Embiid.
No way.
Okay, I guess, yeah. Embiid's
No
probably
way. No way.
I'm telling you right now, if you watch a Denver Nuggets game, he gets at least 6 calls that are not fouls. And I'm telling you right now, you can watch every single series he's done. Every time there's a ball in the air, he takes his arm and shoves the guy under the hoop. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be picky. I don't think they would lose. I'm just saying it's like crazy where it's like, this man gets every single call. You got pushed over by Austin Reeves like 4 times and got every single call. Austin Reeves is 100 pounds less than you.
Well, he's a 2-time MVP. Don't you think that he deserves some calls?
I hate that bullshit. I hate that narrative. We're not doing this star-studded game so then the Timberwolves will never be good. We have no MVPs.
Do you think Ant could be an MVP in his career?
Yes. I think Ant could be, but Ant still also doesn't even get some calls. Granted, Ant complains about every single call.
Well, he's 21. He's young.
100%. But I think the narrative of like, okay, he's an MVP, you should get every call. Dude, call the game the same way. I know you're trying to call it for superstars, but that's what's ruining the NBA. It's plain and simple. That's what's ruining the NBA. I'm sorry, you watch Embiid. Embiid literally fell. He was on the ground more than he was even on his feet. I mean, that man fell almost every possession. And he falls slow and hard. He's like Shaq.
He does, yeah.
So I think it's hard. I think it's just like...
I'm not arguing for Embiid. I would say Jokic falls less than Embiid.
Oh, no, I agree with that.
I think Embiid is number 1.
Yeah, Embiid is number 1. I just think it's so annoying. And even watching this series, it's like, I think the worst thing that the NBA refs have created is the fact of waiting for the ball to go in the hoop, and if it doesn't, foul. No, if it's a foul, call foul. Then it's an and 1 if it goes in. If it doesn't go in, it's still a foul.
It's true.
They do that so many times where it's like, hey, the shot goes up, probably a foul. If it goes in, no foul. If it doesn't go in, late whistle. And it's like, maybe that's the training mechanism, but it's like, so it's only a foul sometimes? That's the annoying stuff. It's like, I don't know.
It is annoying.
I can always complain about refs though in every sport, so it's tough, but it's like, it's just hard. It's hard to watch the NBA because it is a superstar league. It really is.
Yeah.
And that's what's tough.
So you got Denver in the finals. Do you think that if you could pick any other team fully healthy, do you think that they would win against the Nuggets based off of how the Nuggets have played and how they are playing currently?
Any team in the NBA?
Yeah.
I think, to me, completely healthy.
Yeah.
I think the Bucks would give them a run for their money, with Chris Middleton completely healthy. Granted, he's a tough one because he wasn't healthy at all.
Are they the only team?
I think the Celtics could. I think the Bucks.
The Celtics are fully healthy.
That's what I'm saying. I think the Celtics could if they win this series. I think the Bucks. The only reason I said that is because you have a guy like Giannis who plays physical against Jokic.
But would he even guard him? I don't think he would.
You'd have Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it depends. I think he would be the one team. I think this year has shown that. I think the Nuggets are very. Who did the Nuggets lose to last year? I feel like they don't have that many new guys. Like Jamal Murray hurt?
Yeah, Jamal Murray was hurt.
Oh.
He tore his ACL last year.
Was it last year? I thought that was 2 years ago.
No.
Yeah, and that makes a huge difference. That bro in game 3 or 4 literally scored 30 points in the first half and did score again.
Until the very end.
He
did score a couple,
but it was like the very end.
Yeah.
And so I think that I do think them this year, which is crazy,
is destiny.
And I think what happened is when we were talking even about it, because we both had like the Suns and stuff. I think you look at the star power and you were like, okay, the star power of the Suns will overtake them.
Mm-hmm.
But then you kind of look at it and you're like, well, Jokic is a 2-time MVP. Jamal Murray is an all-star.
Will you hand me that notebook underneath the shoes there?
Yeah. Jokic is an all-star. You have all these guys who are fantastic. I don't know, but like if you just went down the list of the teams, I think like Grizzlies, no. Obviously Suns, no. Even healthy, the Suns, no.
Hey, you see that right there?
That was your last. Think about that was your last pick.
I know.
None of us took them.
Yeah.
They were the number one seed in that.
It could be Celtics, Nuggets. We're going over the picks before the year.
Yeah.
Nuggets were my last pick, and Celtics were Dave's second pick.
I think that was once the playoffs came out, right?
No, this was before the season started.
Oh, well, the Nets.
Yeah, because Kyrie and, and KD were still on that team.
Crazy. Yeah, and I think here's the thing is also, like I said, I think the hardest part about the Nuggets is like they're not super, super flashy. Like, yes, Jokic is good, but he doesn't play a style of like flash.
He can be flashy at times.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you watch him play, and like, truthfully, if you knew nothing about basketball and you just watched him play, you'd be like, this is just like a big lard who has a great vision. I mean, watch him run, watch him shoot.
Yeah, but
he has everything goes
so
in.
Crafty.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is like he's
crafty.
not to people who watch the NBA, like I would say the majority of people would rather watch like a Jason Tatum, who makes plays that are very, very athletic. And all those guys.
Don't you enjoy having a guy like Jokic that's making plays that aren't as athletic, but he's still so good?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I think it goes about saying where it's like, dude, the guy is, I mean, I don't know if he's 7 feet tall, but he's pretty close.
I think he's about that.
He's that tall, and his vision and his ability to shoot, like.
Should he have won MVP this year?
No, I think Embiid should. And the argument was because it's just a regular season thing. And I think Embiid played unreal.
Yeah, I mean, I think they both had great years, so it's tough to say one should have deserved it over the other. I think they were both deserving, so.
Yeah, I think you could make an argument for either one. I do think it played a part, and I mean, maybe it didn't, but I do think it kind of plays a part sometimes when, like, a guy wins it multiple times in the past.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, this guy was exactly like that guy. He's won twice, like, we should change that.
Making him a 3-time MVP would be a pretty...
It can be unfair, because it kind of just be like, okay, so... And I'm not saying, like, maybe if it was... I just think this year, like you said, it was so close between the two, and they were so comparable that it was like, okay.
We want somebody new.
Yeah, we wanted somebody new, and it, like, brings clarity to the league, and people are like, okay, we're not just voting for the same guy.
Brings what?
Clarity. It means there's multiple people that can win. Clarity. Clear vision. Clarity. That means that multiple people can win.
Parity?
Parity, clarity, same thing.
Brings parity. Similar.
It's like, but what I'm saying is, it's like the same thing. It's like if the same guy won the NHL.
Clarity.
Yeah, it brings a clear vision to the league. I think clarity is actually not the wrong word. Parity might be the first word, but
I think it's not right.
What does clarity do in the league? Restores 50% of your maximum mania. This is League of Legends.
Oh God! Please do not start quoting that on here.
But no, I do think it's one of those things where I think it needs to be more said in the NBA. The NBA especially after this defensive team BS and all this other stuff. Like, are we just going off of names, or are we going off of actual talent? Because like, what will it take? This is the hard part: is what will it take for Ant to even be in the top 3? Karl Anthony Towns will have to leave, right? And he will have to perform well. He'll have to average almost 30 points a game. Because he doesn't get that many assists. I mean, I don't know how many assists he gets. Probably and rebounds. And
4 to 5.
And what, 4 to 5 rebounds?
Maybe 5.
So, like, in the middle, like, we'll say 5 to 6. We'll even say the higher end of both of them. We'll say he gets, let's say he averages 30 points and 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Potentially. But these guys are averaging almost triple doubles.
Yeah, basically.
That's what I'm saying. So it's so much harder for a guy like him who's not averaging. I feel like the MVP will always average a double-double, at least. There's so many guys that do that. Granted, like a double-double,
I mean,
points are higher, not like 15 points, 12 assists. Like
the Wolves would just have to be good.
Yeah, I think that would help.
Like they would have to be a top 4 seed in the West for sure.
And he would have to
he would have to be significantly like our guy.
Yeah. So
I think he will be.
But. Yeah, I think he will be at some point. And I think, do you think within the next 5 years he has potential to win an MVP?
I think potential, likely. I don't think so.
Do you think he has argument to be in the top 5
of MVP voting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I just think it's so hard. It always seems like
that's me being hopeful, but I think it's possible.
Yeah, I think it's so hard because it's like you look at these MVP voting and it's like the same guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Giannis is always going to be up there. You have
Yeah.
now Joel Embiid.
Well, apparently,
Jokic,
according to everybody, Wembanyama is going to be the best player in 3 years. So he's going to be top 3.
I'm not standing by that.
No, I'm not either.
I don't even think it'll be top 10.
Okay, so here's the other question that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
So apparently, what I've heard or what I've seen is that Denver basically has their entire roster under contract for next year. So you can
all these guys?
you can consider them to literally have the exact same roster. They lose like Jeff Green, which he's played a fairly
decent role,
fairly good sized role for them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of other people that could do what he does, right? So they don't necessarily need to re-sign him to maintain their success. Mm-hmm. So just thinking about their team right now.
They also only have 1 draft pick.
Well,
it's the 40th overall. No, it's not even in the first round. It's the 40th.
That doesn't surprise me. They probably traded draft picks for who?
It says from Dallas via Oklahoma City is their 1 draft pick.
Okay, so they probably...
Charlotte got one from Denver via whatever. Yeah, but yeah.
So
but it's not like they're going to draft somebody that's going to make a substantial...
Right, they would have to just sign a couple guys to fill the spots. But anyways, so they basically have their same team. They've looked dominant in the playoffs. They were the number 1 regular season seed for the West. Mm-hmm. Do you think that going into next year, if they end up winning the championship, that they're going to be the favorite?
To like repeat?
Yeah, they'll basically have the entire same team as this year if they win.
I think they'll definitely be top 3. I don't know. It's so hard.
Is that a bet that you would take?
That they would be the number 1?
That they would that they would win next year. They have basically the exact same team as this year, and they've looked dominant.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because I always look at it and I'm like, you look at like a team like the Bucks, and like I think one of the arguments with the Bucks in the playoffs will be and always will be against the Heat. I'm not saying the Heat shouldn't have won, but I'm saying like Giannis was hurt.
Yeah.
So like with a healthy team, which I know not necessarily happened, but it's like you look at what happened when the Nuggets lost Jamal Murray. Like if so, let's say something unfortunately happens.
I mean,
to
Giannis did end up coming back.
100%, but he wasn't the same. I mean, he missed 2 or 3 games and he wasn't the same.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I think they have to be up there for favorites. I don't know
if Jokic plays a style that
he could get hurt.
Like anybody can get hurt, but he just doesn't play the style where it's like solely based off of athleticism and attacking the rim super hard or making these
like a
crazy
Giannis,
athletic plays.
Like a Giannis.
So I feel like that lowers his potential to get injured.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I think it's hard to say like obviously will they be in the top 1 or 2, maybe 3 for betting purposes. Mm-hmm. I just don't know. Even with the same team, I do think they'll make the playoffs. I don't know if they'll be a number 1 seed and be as dominant, but I don't know if I would actually take that bet right now. I mean, if they win this, if they beat whoever they play handily, sure, you might be able to change my mind. But like, I don't know. I think it's hard. I think.
What if they win 4-2? I mean, even just winning.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I would put my money on them. I really don't know anything really about Denver though. T-Wolves beat them at home 1 time.
Well, right, but if they have the same team and they were dominant this year, then who's to say they shouldn't be dominant next year? They'll have Jokic, who will probably be a top 3 MVP candidate. They'll have Jamal Murray, who's a very good player, especially alongside Jokic. Yeah. They'll have all of their complementary pieces in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And they'll have their first 1 to 2 guys off the bench.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah, it's a good argument. I think the hard part is, like, for me, I think if they win the championship this year, no matter what the series is, if they win the championship and even if they don't win the championship somehow, and if they bring back the same exact team, they'll still probably be the favorites.
You think they'll be the favorite?
Yes. I'll preface this. If the Heat win the championship, yes, I would say that the Nuggets will be the favorite. Because the only reason is they're bringing back the same team, and I don't know anything about the Heat, but like Butler's getting older, these guys are younger. Sure, they probably don't have everyone under contract like the Nuggets.
If the Heat win the championship, they will not be the favorite.
That's what I'm saying. So you take them out of the equation. You take them out of the equation.
But I still don't think Denver will be either because they're just not as flashy. I think it'll be Miami. I think it'll be Milwaukee, or I think it will be Phoenix, or
Phoenix is dead.
Well, I'm just saying in terms of odds. I don't think that.
Well, not even in terms of odds. Who would you bet? Who would you bet on?
I mean,
I know you love Phoenix, but I'm just saying, like,
no, I think I might go Denver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I think Denver has.
They're going to be good in the regular season,
and they play. And here's the thing that makes Denver good is they don't play a style that's flashy, so they're used to this, and they just go out and win.
And they're not going to be the top 1 or 2, most likely odds teams because
they don't win the championship.
Because they don't play flashy.
If they don't win the championship, I think if they win the championship, you almost have to put them 1 and 2 if they're bringing back the same team.
I don't know.
We'll wait and see. I think if they
People
win the championship,
will make arguments for the bigger name teams like Golden State if they have Steph and Clay and they bring in somebody and or they have Draymond. Like that's basically the same team. You kind of have to build in the fact that these other flashy teams are going to be maybe not as good in the regular season. Everybody still believes in them because they've done it before in the playoffs. Yeah. But
I didn't believe in the Warriors.
You kind of have to build in the fact that the Lakers might not have as good of a regular season record because they're older and they're not going to play all the games. Yeah. Whereas Denver, you kind of build in that they're probably going to be a pretty good regular season team. So that's going to set them up for a pretty good situation going into the playoffs.
Right. Well, I think you look at Denver's roster, and I think you kind of look at it like if they're bringing everyone back and no one is substantially this guy is at his end of his prime.
Yeah.
Where you look at it, it's like Michael Porter Jr., pretty young guy.
Mm-hmm.
Caldwell Pope has played pretty well.
He's the only older
and he's
guy.
older.
He's the older guy.
Jamal Murray, young.
Yeah.
It's like Jokic
pretty young. He's in his prime.
In his prime.
Yeah.
So it's you kind of look at it, and like you said, you kind of get these guys off the bench. They really don't have any holes to fill.
Mm-mm. Jeff Green.
But that's barely a hole.
Backup big guy.
Right, and then you have, Braun, I think his name is, off the bench from Kansas.
Yeah.
He could get better. And then you have young guys who still have room to grow.
Uh-huh.
And so, yes, you have your best players in the heat of things and in the middle of their primes, but you also have these young guys who can grow.
Yep.
And so, I don't know. I truly do think, because you look at these other teams, and even the Celtics, you look at them Al Horford, pretty old.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart, getting older.
Jaylen Brown, probably gone.
Yes, gonna probably go sign a Supermax somewhere else. So it's and I get they're a very talented team, and I think Jason Tatum is the guy, but I think this is the last year you see them all together.
Yeah.
And so it's they're out of the equation. Bucks, it's the same story. Yes, Giannis is elite. Chris Middleton cannot stay healthy. He just can't. He's getting older. He can't stay healthy. So are they? And I even think here's the thing: is you match up 5 versus 5 with the Bucks. And I know I said it before, I think it would be a good series. You could make an argument that the Denver Nuggets would beat the Bucks healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would take whatever. If they're not the favorites, even if they are the favorites and it's -1 whatever or plus something, I would take the Nuggets.
Well, it's always going to be plus in the future so far in advance.
Yeah.
But I would say if I had to guess what their odds is going to be,
yeah,
I'd probably say it's going to be plus 600 to 800.
Wow.
Which
not the favorite.
It might be.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much that could happen between the end of this year and the beginning of next year.
Right.
But I think that if it's me, that's those are odds that intrigue me to go put a future on the Nuggets.
Is there an amount where, let's say, it's plus high 100s, low 200s? Would that still intrigue you?
No.
So it has to be above probably 400, 500.
Yeah,
and I think there's
because like I just said, there's so much that can happen from now until even just the start of the regular season.
Yeah.
That you never really know what these teams are going to look like. But if you know that everybody's under contract and they were super successful this year, then there's not really anything that should say that they're not going to be. I just want to have better odds. If they're not, if it's plus 100 to 200, come the beginning of the year and some other teams make big flashy free agency moves, or they make moves around the draft, or they start off the year really hot, then maybe their odds improve and the Nuggets are worse,
Yeah.
which can provide more value. So like, it's all about where it's at. But
yeah, I think if they win the championship this year, I think it would be, and maybe I'm wrong, and I know they're not flashy, but I think it would be hard to put them at like plus 600. I mean, I think like a plus 600 would be like a team that finished third or fourth that made a push, potentially like a Suns or something. Like, show me something versus they just won the championship. They're literally bringing back the same team. They should be. I know they're not flashy, like we said 15 times, but they have to be the favorite. There's no other rationale behind that.
potentially the Bucks because everybody had them and they were the number one seed, but Giannis was hurt.
Yeah, but I think you also look at, I mean, what was the Bucks' record compared to Denver won 60-some games. They had to be close, right?
I want to say the Bucks were the highest.
No, the Bucks were the overall number one seed. But I'm saying, like, it had to have been close. Bucks were 58-24. The Nuggets were 53-29. So they were 5 games different.
Yep.
Granted, the Celtics were also 57-25.
And the Sixers were 54.
I think the Sixers will be not as good because I think James is going to leave. James Harden is going to be gone.
But that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting. I think that's obviously a food for thought. I think there's a lot of teams that can make a push. We'll see what happens this year. But I think for my sake, going back to the first topic, I think I'm more intrigued if I will watch a little bit more of it if the Celtics are in it. Because I think it will go more than... I think if the Heat are in it, I truly think it will go 4 games.
Maybe 5. Yeah, I think you always give the other team 1 game.
1 game.
But
yeah,
otherwise, probably not.
Yeah, so we'll see.
There you go.
All right,
we're moving on. Top 5. We're doing rom-coms.
Yep.
Because we all love rom-coms.
And last week we did action.
And last week we did action/adventure.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're doing 5 rounds. Whoever wins the coin flip gets to guess first. And
we already do have our guesses written down.
Yep.
I do.
I do as well.
Okay. Heads. Oh shit.
It is heads. Good job, David. All right, guess away.
She's out of my league. Number 1.
Yeah,
Has
that's
to
number
be.
1.
If it's not number 1, I'm ending the show early.
Good job. Good guess. Good guess.
I'm not making that mistake with fast, whatever it was.
I'm gonna go failure to launch.
Failure to launch is not on my list.
No.
Failure to launch.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Show. Talking movies, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say John Tucker Must Die.
No.
Oh.
Not on me.
It's a decent movie though.
I'm gonna say just go with it.
Just go with it is on mine.
Let's go, baby.
I'm gonna go with Fool's Gold. Okay.
Nope. I'll go with How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
No. Nope. I'm gonna go with The Last Song. I don't know if that's the right movie.
No.
It's not Miley Cyrus at all.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Crazy Stupid Love is on mine.
All right.
And I'm gonna go with. Do I have one more?
This is the last one, yes.
You've
You've gotten 1.
I'm gonna go with She's the Man.
No.
Okay.
Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers is on mine.
Let's go, baby. I mean,
What are your movies? Your movies are ass.
Just wait.
Oh my god. Do you want me to go for it? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, say your 5.
So my number 5 is She's Out of My League. Number 4, Mamma Mia. 3, Wedding Crashers. 2, Crazy Stupid Love. 1, Just Go With It.
Dang, so I got 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I mean, I would love to hear these.
I didn't know you liked She's Out of My League like that.
It's my number 5. I really don't know any other. I mean, the rom-coms I guessed I won't even put in my top 5.
Number 5, Just Go With It.
Okay.
4 is Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
3, The Proposal.
Yeah. Okay, decent.
With Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, that's decent.
2, Hitch.
Yeah.
Will
okay.
Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith and the guy.
I mean, that is a
decent movie.
great movie.
Decent
and then
movie.
number 1, She's Out of My League.
Yeah, I knew number 1.
So,
I mean, it's an okay league. I mean, it's okay. It's decent.
so you got number 1. That's it.
Yeah.
So that's 5.
Classic.
I got 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, 5, 4, 3,
So that's 12.
12.
That's 4, 1, and 1 for me.
Rom-coms, man. What was your 5? What was your number 5?
5 was Just Go With It. 4 was Wedding Crashers. 3 was The Proposal. 2 was Hitch, and 1 was She's Out of My League.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad list.
Thank you.
It's tough. Yeah, it's not bad. It's better than your other action movies, so we'll go with that. We're making progress.
I was pretty confident with my.
I forgot about The Proposal. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Who's the guy?
It's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, then I'm not thinking of The Proposal. Who's the guy?
It's Sandra Bullock. They go up to Alaska. She's on a, I think it's a work visa, and she's gonna get exported, unless they get married. And he's like, okay. And then they have to put on a big fake wedding type of thing.
I don't know. Then I wasn't thinking of that movie. Forgetting Sarah Marshall's not a bad one either. I wasn't thinking of that one. I was thinking of a different one. It's not. I don't know where the list went that I was looking at before.
Sorry.
Yeah, there it goes.
All right. Well, we'll take the dub.
Yeah,
Episode 62.